He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is not another shooting show. We go to Dunwoody, Georgia, where a Dunwoody police officer, this is a good story, dude. A Dunwoody police officer who was being placed on administrative leave accidentally shot himself while turning over his guns to police personnel at his residence.
Well, wait. So he was he was going on administrative leave.
And then, according to an incident report filed by Officer Jay Bradley, David Perkins, who had only been working for the department for about a month.
Oof.
Yeah, he's probably going to work for ICE in the next month. On July 27th.
I didn't make that joke. That joke.
No, but God bless Christy Nome and her South Park character for doing all that work. On July 27th was handing over city equipment to several members of the department, including Deputy Police Chief Oliver Fladrich, when the weapon discharged. Perkins, according to Sergeant Michael Cheek, the department's public information officer, quote, was involved in a fight in Cobb County while off duty.
He was in a bar fight?
Yeah, he was in a bar fight and was being placed on administrative leave while the matter was being investigated. Mr. Perkins was handing over city equipment to include a Glock 43 pistol. The incident report said, as he went to unload and clear the pistol to render it safe, he had a negligent discharge, unquote.
This motherfucker forgot the unload and then show clear.
He tried to hammer down and hand over.
This story is so amazing.
It is. It's a good one. The round went into the floor at his feet and was directly to my right, Bradley's report said. DC Fladrich immediately recovered the pistol and secured it. In other words, yanked it out of his hands, bitch. I asked Mr. Perkins and everyone else if they were injured, and initially everyone seemed fine. However, it was soon discovered that Mr. Perkins had an apparent wound to his upper leg, the report said. The officer was transported to Grady Hospital, where he underwent treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. Regarding the Cobb County incident, Perkins, according to Cheek, was later arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery. He's 26. He resigned from the Dunwoody force early in August while being investigated. So,
I'm sure he'll get a job at another department here within the next 36 hours. Yeah, they're offering $50,000 sign-up bonus and free college.
Well, and a number of years ago, like probably about 10 years ago, I remember there being a news story about how the Sioux Falls Police Department was hiring. But the Sioux Falls Police Department had an age limit that they would take applicants. And pretty much every other agency in the state does not have an age limit for a new cop applicant.
Okay.
Including the South Dakota Highway Patrol. So, because being a state employee, I see the job listings for the state all the time now. And I saw they're hiring Highway Patrol troopers right now. And there's no age limit. You know, they'll take a 48-year-old geezer. You got to pass the physical, tests and whatnot. Those dudes are all pretty in shape. Like, I haven't met a fat one. So I think they actually have some standards.
That's good.
Yeah. But they're also the one department in my state that will take your appendix carry pistol off of you if they pull you over.
That gives me so much fucking anxiety.
Oh, dude.
After our story, because we did the story a couple months ago of the officer that was removing the appendix from someone and shot him. Dude, I show that
video in my class every time from Jacksonville. That lady torched around off into the dude's thigh with a Glock 29.
Yeah.
Fucking
like,
10 millimeter.
I still, like, in my brain, if a cop is like, hey, you have a firearm on you, I'm going to disarm you. I'm like, I'm going to take off my pants before you touch this fucking firearm. Like,
I would rather go pantsless in January in South Dakota than have a highway patrol trooper take a gun off me.
This is going to be controversial, but like, I'd rather fight a fucking cop than let him disarm me in that way. Like,
you'll get arrested though eventually.
I will get arrested, but then I will fucking be like, here is why I prevented you from handling the firearm next to my fucking dick. Here's evidence of police officers not being good at carrying firearms. Here's me trying to be I'll just take my belt off. I'll just let it drop. I'll drop trow. I got my boxers on. Like, there's no indecent exposure. Like, we're good. We good.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about I just had a permit class this past weekend, and when I talk about, it's one of the things on. By the way, the best website to know the laws where you're going is handgunlaw.us. Okay, if you've never been to handgunlaw.us, I don't give a shit what club you have a membership to. It's not as good as handgunlaw.us. It's just like some dudes who do it and they take donations, so give them some money. One of the categories that's on the PDF for every state is, do you have to notify law enforcement on contact? In your state, Nebraska, you do. In my state, South Dakota, where we can set up tripwire shotguns on our property as long as they are properly marked.
Beautiful.
We do not have to notify law enforcement on contact that we are in possession of a firearm.
What are the laws around Claymore Roombas?
As long as they're marked, it just has to be marked. So like Claymore Roomba, you have to have a sign on it as it's moving around. Claymore Roomba. Keep your distance, basically, is what you have to have.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, it's a fucking wonderful state. You don't want to live here. It's terrible. Fuck it. You shouldn't live here. 100%. Claymore Roomba. That's fucking awesome.
They're called
Oh,
Boombas.
my God. Oh, God. So I give this little speech in every one of my permit classes after we talk about, okay, no, you don't have to notify law enforcement on contact. Should you? And most people think, well, yeah, sure. Why not? Like, I'm an upstanding citizen. I'm just getting pulled over for speeding or a stoplight or whatever. And I always, the first thing I bring up is a guy by the name of Philando Castile. You know that name, Jeff?
Oh, I know Philando Castile.
Okay.
He got fucking smoked in Minnesota.
Yeah. Suburban Minneapolis. I don't remember which suburb. I'm pulling up the it was Falcon Heights, Minnesota. So he gets pulled over for like speeding or something. It was nothing. And he's like, hey, I've got a pistol permit. And he said, there's a whole video. There's basically a script. I've never seen this before on the Wikipedia page. The cop said, don't reach for it then. Castile responded, I was reaching for. Yanez yelled, don't pull it out. Castile said, I'm not pulling it out. He's not. Don't pull it out. And then, boom, 7 close range shots at Castile.
Yep. It's the unfortunate side of this.
Now, real quick, before you say what you said,
okay.
This cop went to trial for, was it murder or second-degree manslaughter?
Yeah, it'd be secondary.
And he was found not guilty, but he was fired.
Yep.
Clearly not prepared to be in that situation. And his partner was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Okay, so because I've gotten shit for shitting on cops a lot. Cops deal with a lot of stressful situations.
They have a really hard job.
It's a really hard job. And they deal with a lot of stressful situations, like walking up to a fucking car at whatever time of the day. And so when dealing with cops, there is a double-edged sword of, should you notify them? There's one logic that says, yes, you should be like, hey, I'm an upstanding citizen. I have a firearm on me. That is completely legal. We're cool. I'm allowing you to know this, so we are on the same page. One of the problems, like this situation presented, is some officers are like, "Oh my god, he has a gun! Oh my god, don't fucking touch it!" Like, and they start to panic.
Anyone they interact with has gun bad.
Right, and sometimes the phrasing of it can. Active Self-Protection has several videos about this, and many of the other self-defense channels have this. It's like, if an officer walks up to your door, the first thing that you do not do is say the word gun. No matter what, do not say the word gun. So I got pulled over one time, and I was like, hey, sir, my concealed carry class told me that I'm supposed to notify you. I'm notifying you of that. I never said the word gun. And he was like, okay, cool. Don't touch it. All right, cool. We on the same page. We having a good day. But there's two sides to it. One, you don't know how new this officer is. Maybe that's his first fucking traffic stop. And he's like, my first fucking traffic stop, I have a fucking gun. Like, oh my God, like I don't know what to do right now. I'm so fucking scared.
Yeah.
Or he just came from because
somebody
law enforcement
murdered a baby.
Right. So,
like some fucking awful shit.
Right. Like one of the things people don't understand is it's like a cop can literally go from a call where he like drew a gun on a fucking domestic violence dude, like beating his wife, yada, 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 holsters his gun, gets back in his car and goes like pulls over someone for running a red light. And you're like, that dude is still on level 9 of adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
He is still turned the fuck up. And
you don't. What I always say in my class is you don't know the cop you're dealing with on the day you're dealing with them. At the moment you're dealing with them, like
correct.
They could be just having a bad day, period, because of personal stuff. They could be coming off a murdered baby call. You know, you don't know what you're dealing with. So I literally tell them in my class, do not volunteer the information. Or I don't tell them not to. I say I don't. Right. I'm not going to tell them. Because what they don't know can't hurt me. Okay? Right. Now, if they ask, I'm not going to lie. If they ask, do you have any weapons on you? Yes, I have a pocket knife, and I'm also carrying a pistol appendix to the left. But the next thing I'm going to say, and if I get pulled over by the highway patrol in South Dakota, because it's literally what they train them to do. It's their policy. Because a friend of mine used to be a highway patrolman here, and he said, well, you know, when you don't have them... There was literally a state Supreme Court case in my state about whether or not they had the right to make you come sit in the car.
Right.
During a stop. And the Supreme Court found they do.
Really?
Yes. And so they go, you know, they can have you come back, sit in the car, and all they're trying to do is smell you for weed and booze. Like, that's all they're doing. So, and that's what my friend told me, a guy I went to high school with. And I said, so what I basically, after that conversation with him, and this was after the Jacksonville incident where the cop shot the lady, yep. I wanted a conversation with him to just be like, okay, like lay it out for me. How are you guys handling this? Because every time I talk to my friends that are on Sioux Falls PD or like the county sheriff's offices around here, they're all like, cool, leave it alone. You don't touch yours, I won't touch mine. Right. Is literally what they say.
If they're having a good day, that's how they're going to react.
And I've never heard it happen any other way with those other departments. But with the Highway Patrol, like they say in the video, in the Jacksonville video, for your safety and my safety, we're going to get you out of the car and we're going to take the gun off you.
And then shoot you.
For your safety and my safety, we're going to take the gun off you. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Sounds like fucking Mr. Mackey. Okay.
Okay. And as all of our fucking incidents we've reported on for 157 episodes is don't fucking handle a loaded firearm. That is key to firearm safety.
This is where I'm going next, Jeff. So here's what I tell everybody in my class. If I get pulled over and they want to get me out of the car to disarm me for their safety and mine, with my hands on the wheel, I'm going to say, sir, I will comply with whatever instructions you give me. But just let me tell you this first here, okay? Again, I will comply with whatever you want me to do. But if you have me get out of the car and you take the gun off of me, the only unsafe thing going to happen in the course of this traffic stop is you taking the gun off of me. I'm going to request that you just leave me in the car. I will blow my coffee breath in your face so you know I haven't been drinking or smoking pot. And then can we just go about the stop however you need to go about it? But if you want me to get out of the car and come back there and disarm me, I will comply. But I would really rather you not take the gun pointed at my cock off of me.
So I would countermand what you're saying because it's too much information. When people, because I talk about this when I deal with a lot of people who are like, oh, self-defense situations. I'm like, the first rule about self-defense situations is limited information. So when people are high stress, and you got to read the cop. If the cop's like, sir, you were fucking doing 137 and a 72 and like blah, 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 and you're like, oh, this guy's really wound up right now. Whatever. If the dude's like, hey bud, how's your week going? Da da da. Very different. But being like, hey sir, I intend to comply. I'm on your side. I want to make us feel safe. I am going to exit the vehicle. I'm going to take my belt off and my pants are going to fall to the ground, and then no firearm is present. Like, do not give them too much information to think about, because
what information? Like, all I said was I would, and what I'm getting this from is the conversation with my friend who was a highway patrolman.
Right,
okay?
Right. But
because he said in some
you
of
gave me
the
a paragraph.
I gave you a long paragraph, I know, but you quit paying attention. That's what happened.
I reject your reality and I substitute my own.
So he said, that in all the stops where he pulled somebody over, like almost nobody's ever carrying a gun. And there were 5 times where he was confident there's nothing weird with this guy, and he did just leave him in the car. Like, this guy's not drunk. He's not high. He's got a permit. He gave me his permit and his driver's license, and he's totally fine. He pulled him over for going, like 10 over the speed limit. So, but he said out of his entire career, that only happened 5 times. And so my little diatribe came from the conversation with him. Like, I'm just going to request that he leave me in the car. That's all I'm asking for. Like, whatever he wants to do, I'll comply. But I'm requesting you not disarm me for my safety. I'm not worried about your safety in this case because I'm not touching a gun. You are. And it's pointed at my cock.
Right. Make sure that you use the phrase, I am complying.
No, and I said that several times. You weren't paying attention, sir.
I was paying attention. It's just that you were saying a lot of information to someone who is really fucking adrenalined up, and they're like, oh my God, this dude might shoot me in the fucking dick because, like, I'm a cop and da-da-da-da.
Well, and the last time I got pulled over, it was actually by a highway patrolman, and I was not armed at the time, but he saw my gold dot reloading bullets in the seat. So he knew I owned guns, but he asked if I had any in the car, and I just said, no, I don't. And he's like, oh, I see the ammo there. I'm like, actually, it's not ammo, it's just reloading bullets. And then he looks again, he's like, oh, yeah. Those are a lot bigger boxes than the boxes we have.
Right. Sometimes they cooler. But
he was, and that dude was totally cool. But like, I had a conversation with him too about it, like what he would do, and he literally said, like, I'm going to take the gun off you, unload it, and put it back in your car. And that sounds reasonable from their perspective, but to me,
that sounds terrifying.
It's terrifying, fucking terrifying.
Right? I'm like, I will, like you said, I will drop fucking trow in the middle.
Yeah, I'd rather be pantsless.
Right. Anyways,
hey, patreon.com/notanothershooting-show. You freeloaders are getting 19 minutes of show before the paywall this week, so good on you.
ADHD is fun.
Yeah, ADHD. But we got on a great topic, though, too. So patreon.com/notanothershooting-show. It's only $3.57 a month. If you don't subscribe, you won't get all of the great content coming up in this episode.
Like our training camp.
Like training camp. We're talking about NASS training camp. This idea Jeff and I have for next year, 2026. It's going to be awesome. Also, the best bars at Area 3. I think I know a couple of them. I think.
Let's go.
Yeah, that'll be important. And I also talked about Jeff in my permit class this weekend. Very specifically. Patreon.com/notanothershooting-show. It is only $3.57 a month.